Finally, this week we will be learning hold using capturing and generalization. As a reminder, your dog for the test only needs to hold a toy for 3 seconds. However, I will also be showing you how to generalize this concept onto something like a bumper. I have good news. Where you begin teaching this cue is simply play. To begin, I just want you to play with your dog. Don't push it into their mouths. This is a common mistake people make early on. Instead, you're going to tease them by putting it up to their mouth and pulling back suddenly. This should get you a really solid bite into the toy. Now, to get a bite and hold, you might need to add in some tug. Again, don't push it into their mouth. Instead, pull back. Tug with them just a little bit, and you'll get some of that opposition reflex that gives them a nice hold into the toy. Now, food here can add a layer of difficulty because they can't eat and hold the toy at the same time. So you may want to consider a play reward instead of a food reward. And we'll need our dogs standing still holding the toy, which isn't what most dogs normally do while playing. There are two main options for teaching this freeze. The first is simply a tug. You're going to hold on to either side of the toy, hug with the dog for a moment, and then freeze for just a second. You don't want to start off at the full 3 seconds. Instead, build up incrementally. Next, you're going to begin removing your hands from the toy little at a time. This is how I teach my dogs to hold an item. However, there's another option, and that is the predator stop. Have you ever been across the yard from your dog? They have a toy in their mouth, they look over at you, you freeze up and look at them like this, and they freeze up in response and stare at you for a moment. This is a fun game for dogs, and it's the stop game. This can encourage a great 3 second freeze just from one simple game. Should you then choose to generalize this hold concept onto a new object, such as a bumper, there are a couple different options. Now, I wish I had a foolproof way of teaching this, but I've really found it's different for every dog. The first option, especially for dogs with small mouths, is to cut up and mash up your tug toy bit by bit onto your hold item. Oftentimes, I'll simply take the stuffing out, wrap it around the hold item, and then slowly cut off bits of the tug toy. Next would be bait and switch. This is where you get a couple rounds of rapid fire holds going with your tug toy. Then slip in your new object. Many dogs will simply hold the new object. Next option is the double up. Newfies have massive mouths. Many of them can hold two objects at once easily. So you simply put the tug toy and the new object in their mouth at once. Phase out the tug toy slowly. Finally is the variety of objects. This is where you find a variety of toys of all shapes and sizes. You can do a mini reteach with each item, slowly working towards more strange items. Think of this as an approximation from a tug toy, which is often a stuffy, to a bumper, which is often a hard plastic item. You find incrementally objects that represent each step. Now, I happen to have 3 dogs at 3 different stages of learning hold, starting with Briggs, who is newest at this concept, moving to Davy, who's practiced it a little bit, and going to Moby, who has it fairly well. She just needs to learn it more consistently. Here I am simply trying to get a nice bite hold with Briggs. I'm tugging it away a little, playing with him. I just want him to bite and hold. Next is Davy, who has a nice bite hold, but he doesn't yet know to hold still. Just gonna start off with some play.
Ready?
Trying to get him to keep his head up there. Slight tug back.
Yes. Yes, boy.
And hopefully you're able to see how that tug can turn into a nice hold. Next, we have Moby, who knows hold but does it inconsistently.
Yes.
She still frequently needs the training wheels of me holding the edges. So we're phasing that out.
Wait. Yes. Good girl.
Nice. At the end there, I'm not holding the edges at all, which is, of course, the goal.
Yes.
Like that. Thank you so much for watching the week 4 videos for the National Newfoundland Rescue Tricks and Training class. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, or videos you want me to look at, go ahead and put them in that Facebook group. I'll see you next week for our final week.